I mean, do you think that what Diddy was doing was sex trafficking?
No.
Because the prosecution said recently that, you know, to the jury that since prostitutes were transported from other states for the purpose of sex, that is technically sex trafficking.
I mean, I believe that prostitution should be legalized. So from that perspective, do I think that he did anything wrong in that regard? No. I also think drugs should, I mean, it might be difficult to pull off from a practical, pragmatic perspective, but I think drugs should be legal too. So both of those accusations really do nothing for me. Was he running an illegal drug trafficking ring? I mean, it would seem so. Was he running an illegal prostitution trafficking ring? I guess, but I just don't think that there's anything wrong with doing either of those things if it was consensual. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to see anything wrong with it. That being said, is he guilty of those crimes technically? I mean, it would seem probably.
It just seems silly because you have these male prostitutes who are paid to have sex with Cassie.
Right.
Not a bad job. I don't think any of them, you know, I even asked Punisher, I said, do you feel like you were sex trafficked? He said, no,
No,
not
of
at
course
all.
not, yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
I was paid like $2,000 to have sex with a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
No problem. You know, and I interviewed, for example, like in the TK case, you know, that girl Mia, who was sort of at the center of the case, and she, you know, said how she was being sex trafficked at like 14 years old. She was made to strip and, you know, see, you know, have sex in motel rooms and everything. You know, to me, that's sex trafficking.
Yeah.
That to me is clearly sex trafficking. It's an underage girl. She's being forced to be a prostitute, et cetera, et cetera. Flying in a guy to have sex with Cassie is like, come on, seriously? Like you're just creating a Fed case over that? The guy's not complaining. The guy did not go to the feds and say, I've been sex trafficked. Please arrest my, you know, the guy who's doing this to me. The guy's like, yeah, I'm cool with it. Whatever. I had sex with Cassie. Stripe on my belt.
But look at how we automatically assume that men are in control of their decisions and the situations that they find themselves in. But then with Cassie, we're very much open to the idea that she might have been, you know.
Well, I think there's a power dynamic between her and Diddy, and that's why.
Yeah.
You know, if she was not reliant on him for a lot of things, then I don't think that we would be having this conversation as much.
Well,
and also he beat the shit out of her, and we all saw the video.
Yeah.
That was awful.
There's no denying that he is an abuser.
Yes.
And that he has done some very horrible things to the women.
He's not
in his
on
life.
trial for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a RICO, sex trafficking, and prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there was domestic violence, I'd say 100% guilty.
Mm.
It's not part of that.
Yeah.
So you have this case that you have these 5 female prosecutors who I think feel sorry for Cassie and think that Diddy's a pervert and they want to just put him front and center by showing that he has weird sexual tastes. Like, why is this necessary? Like, at one point, there was a whole thing about how there's text messages that were saying that Daphne Joy, he was calling her his crack pipe. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, you have a stupid nickname for a girl you're messing with.
It's all just like little attacks on his character. Yeah.
You know, oh, okay, crack pipe, haha. You know, and of course, you know, now it opens up to, you know, to Kanye. And we've talked about this. You've heard some Kanye cuck stories before.
Yep. He was trying to solicit some of the biggest gunslingers in the game. I heard.
Does the Kanye thing surprise you?
Again, man, he's the maestro. You know, he knows what it is to call in the best lyricist, the best beat maker, the best fashion designer, put them all in a room, and they come up with something that's better than whatever he could make just by himself if he was writing down lyrics and putting together a beat. So, I mean, does it surprise me that much that he might want to sit back and see some guy with a 12-inch dick go to town on his woman? I guess it's not the most surprising thing in the world, especially given that, I mean, actually I've heard from quite a few people that Kanye is extremely well hung.
Okay.
So, but I guess that says a lot that, you know, even if you are very large down there, you might still want to employ the services of someone like this. I just wonder where the people get all this time to do this. It just feels like our lives are already so busy and we're nowhere near as successful as somebody like Diddy or Kanye. And it's like, we don't make time to do crazy sexual stuff besides maybe like having sex with each other for a half hour at the end of the day or whatever. Like, it's just not. I just look at someone like Diddy and I'm like, bro, you could have been putting all this time and effort into making great records. Maybe that's why your
4 days,
music
yeah.
career really kind of fell off over the last like decade or so, is because you were putting too much time into having crazy sexual experiences and not spending enough time in the lab.
But you have these sexual facilitators who book Plug Talk for us. But if you didn't, don't you think that you would just hire someone to do that for you?
Oh, if I was single, for sure I'd be beating cheeks on a nightly basis.
But
Random hoes.
And you could have someone put it together for you.
I guess that is true, but I don't know. It's just like, for me, like the random hoe thing would be more like, hey, like, I got 20 minutes for you. Pull up. I'm back in the lab.